I slide my Honda Civic between a gleaming Jaguar and a pearl-white Lexus in the Riverside Country Club parking lot. The contrast couldn't be more obvious: me practical sedan with its fading paint versus the luxury vehicles surrounding it like silent judges. I smooth down my department store dress, check my lipstick in the rearview mirror, and gather my courage. Some families have reunions in parks with potato salad and three-legged races. The Addams family has theirs at country clubs with champagne fountains and passive-aggressive competitions. The gravel crunches beneath my sensible flats as I walk toward the imposing stone building. Perfectly manicured lawns stretch in every direction, a green canvas painted with money and privilege. Through tall windows, crystal chandeliers cast golden light onto the gathering crowd. My stomach tightens. "Lauren, there you are." The hostess greets me with rehearsed warmth. "Everyone's already inside." Of course they are. Punctuality, another family competition I've apparently lost. The marble hallway feels endless, lined with framed photos of Addams family triumphs. Cousin Michael at his law school graduation, Amanda accepting her business leadership award, Uncle Robert on his boat with some celebrity I should probably recognize. Not a single photo of me. I pause before entering the dining room, watching the familiar choreography through the doorway. Uncle Robert's booming laugh, Aunt Patricia's dramatic hand gestures, my father holding court near the bar, nodding sagely as younger relatives hang on his every word. My mother flitting between groups, the perfect corporate wife with her perfect coral lipstick that never smudges. And Amanda. My sister stands in the center of it all, radiant in a cream-colored dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent, her blonde hair arranged in an artful twist. Even from here, I can see the diamond studs winking from her ear's graduation gift from Dad when she finished her MBA. When I graduated with my computer science degree, I got a department store gift card. I step into the room, and conversations continue without pause. No dramatic silence, no heads turning, just a few glances and tight smiles before everyone returns to their important discussions. The invisibility is almost worse than outright hostility. "Lauren, darling." My mother finally spots me, waving me over with her fingers. "We saved you a seat." The seat turns out to be at the round table in the corner, the designated place for cousins under 18, plus me. I'm 29. "Thanks, Mom," I manage, setting my purse on the chair. "The wine is lovely tonight," she says, patting my shoulder. "Though perhaps you should stick to water, your complexion looks a bit tired." Before I can respond, Aunt Patricia swoops in, clutching Mom's arm. "Diana, did you hear about Gregory? Made partner at Fenton and Wallace last month. Youngest partner in the firm's history." Her voice carries just enough to ensure everyone nearby hears about her son's accomplishment. "That's wonderful," Mom gushes. "Such a bright young man." Uncle Robert isn't far behind, glass of scotch in hand, and our Melissa just got accepted to Johns Hopkins for her residency, following in her old man's footsteps. He claps my father on the back. Dad beams with pride for his niece. The Addams medical tradition continues. We'll have another doctor in the family. Then, inevitably, the spotlight swings to me. Mom's smile tightens almost imperceptibly. "Well, Lauren's still." She pauses, searching for words, figuring things out with her little computer hobby. The knife twists. 3 years of 80-hour weeks, of ramen noodles and sleepless nights, of coding until my vision blurred, reduced to a little hobby. "Don't worry," Amanda chimes in, appearing at my side to place a sisterly hand on my shoulder. Her diamond bracelet catches the light. "I'm helping Lauren get a real job. My friend at Mercer Consulting might have an entry-level position opening up." The table nods approvingly. Such a good sister, helping her struggling sibling. I think back to 3 years ago, hunched over my laptop in my cramped studio apartment, surrounded by empty coffee cups and takeout containers. The code on my screen represented months of work on an AI recruitment system that could revolutionize how companies found talent. That night, my family had shown up unannounced for an intervention. "This fantasy has gone on long enough," Dad had said, his insurance executive voice leaving no room for discussion. "No more financial support for this experiment." Amanda had sat next to me on my futon, her voice dripping with concern. "I can network for you, Lauren, get you something stable, something respectable." Now she stands before our assembled relatives, announcing her latest career move. "I've applied to Horizon Tech's executive MBA program. It's extremely competitive, but my contact there says I have an excellent chance." The family murmurs their approval. Such a smart career move. Such ambition. Such an Adams. I check my phone discreetly. 7:58 p.m. I allow myself a small smile and take a sip of wine. The funniest part of all this? Amanda has no idea that the startup she dismisses as my hobby was quietly acquired by Horizon Tech last week, or that I helped design the AI system that screens their MBA applicants. At precisely 8 p.m., Amanda's phone buzzes. She pulls it from her clutch, her perfect eyebrows drawing together as she reads the notification. I take another sip of wine and wait. I got rejected from Horizon Tech. Amanda's voice cracks as she stares at her phone screen. The silver fork in her manicured hand clatters against her plate. The champagne bubbles in my glass seem to freeze mid-rise. Aunt Patricia stops mid-sentence about her son's law partnership. Uncle Robert's booming laugh cuts off sharply. Every Adam's head swivels toward Amanda like synchronized mannequins in a department store window. What? Mom's coral lipstick forms a perfect O of shock. Dad's insurance executive posture stiffens. That can't be right. They must have made a mistake. I take another sip of wine, letting the dry tartness linger on my tongue. That's interesting. What reason did they give? Amanda glares at me, her diamond earrings catching the chandelier light as she tilts her head. For a moment, I glimpse the little girl who used to blame me when she broke Mom's crystal figurines. It says, she clears her throat and reads from her phone with visible distaste. Your application has been filtered by our AI recruitment system. After careful consideration of your qualifications and our current cohort needs, we regret to inform you that we will not be moving forward with your application at this time. Dad's hand tightens around his Scotch glass. AI recruitment system? What nonsense. Computers don't make these decisions. People do. Actually, they do make these decisions now. I say, straightening my shoulders. The moment feels surreal. 3 years of work culminating in this perfect symmetry of justice. Amanda's eyes narrow. And how would you know anything about Horizon Tech's hiring practices? I place my wine glass on the table with deliberate care. Because I helped design that AI system. The silence that follows has weight and texture. I could frame it and hang it on the wall next to all those Addams family achievements. What are you talking about? Amanda's laugh sounds hollow. You work from your apartment. You don't even have an office. I say nothing. The most effective weapon in my arsenal now is silence. I've learned that from countless investor meetings where men in expensive suits talked over me until I stopped talking altogether. When I stopped filling the air with desperate explanations, they grew uncomfortable enough to actually listen. The memory surfaces of last Thanksgiving, Amanda leaning close to our cousin Melissa, not realizing I could hear her from the kitchen. Lauren's having some kind of breakdown. Quit her job to play with computers all day. We're all so worried. Or Dad at the country club bar telling his golf buddies, my youngest is living in Fantasyland. Thinks she'll be the next Mark Zuckerberg or something. Their sympathetic chuckles still burn in my ears. For 3 years, they've painted me as delusional. For 3 years, they've systematically undermined every connection I tried to make in our community. The damage to my reputation stretches beyond family gatherings into business circles I should have been welcomed into. But now their narrative is crumbling and the foundation of their perceived superiority is cracking beneath their Italian leather shoes. My company was just acquired by Horizon Tech. I say finally, the words simple and clean. Aunt Patricia's champagne sloshes over the rim of her glass. Uncle Robert's bushy eyebrows shoot toward his receding hairline. Mom's hand flies to her coral lipsticked mouth. Amanda recovers first, her expression shifting from shock to calculation faster than a stock market crash. Well, I must have mentioned Lauren to my contact there. It's wonderful when these connections work out. She reaches for my hand across the table. I move my hand just enough that her fingers grasp empty air. Funny, they never mentioned you. My voice remains level. Though they were very interested in our algorithm that identifies authentic innovation potential versus surface-level networking skills. Dad clears his throat. Now, Lauren, family supports family. No need to. You told Mr. Harrington at the club that I was going through a phase, I interrupt, surprising myself with my steadiness. You suggested he shouldn't waste time meeting with me about potential investment opportunities. His face reddens. That's not... You also told Mrs. Edwards I wasn't emotionally stable enough for her daughter to consider as a roommate when my lease was up last year. The words taste like freedom on my tongue, which is why I had to renew that overpriced studio for another 12 months while building my company. Amanda's smile remains frozen on her face, but her eyes dart around the table, assessing the shifting dynamics. Lauren, really, this isn't the place. You told Bethany I was becoming weirdly obsessed with my computer hobby and suggested she stop encouraging me. I meet my sister's gaze directly. Bethany showed me the texts. The room feels charged with electricity. Every atom is calculating new equations, recalibrating their understanding of family hierarchy based on this unexpected variable. I reach for my phone and pull up the notification I've been waiting for all night. The family leans forward instinctively, like flowers towards sunlight, unaware they're about to be scorched. Would you like to see what the Wall Street Journal is publishing tomorrow morning? I turn my phone screen toward them. It seems they find my little computer hobby quite newsworthy. Is this some kind of joke? Dad's voice cuts through the murmuring that followed Amanda's announcement. His eyes narrow as he looks at me, suspicion hardening his features. Lauren, what exactly are you implying? The entire table has gone silent. Uncle Robert's Scotch glass hovers halfway to his lips. Aunt Patricia has stopped mid-gesture, her diamond tennis bracelet catching the light. I'm not implying anything. My voice comes out steadier than I expected. My company was acquired by Horizon Tech last week. I helped design their AI recruitment system. Amanda frantically taps at her phone, her manicured nails clicking against the screen. There's nothing online about any acquisition involving a company called... She stops, color draining from her face as something appears on her screen. Predictive Edge. I supply helpfully. That's the name of my company. Grandmother watches silently from the head table, her weathered hands folded neatly over her napkin. Her eyes, sharp despite her 83 years, haven't missed a thing. This is ridiculous, Dad says, standing up. His suit jacket falls open, revealing the gold watch chain across his vest. You're making up stories to embarrass your sister. Something shifts inside me. 3 years of doubt, of dismissal, of being the family disappointment, it all crystallizes into a strange, powerful calm. I rise from my chair, straightening to my full height. Horizon Tech acquired Predictive Edge for our AI recruitment technology. I say, my voice carrying across the dining room. Several country club members at nearby tables turn to listen. The same technology that just analyzed your application, Amanda. Even if this is true, Amanda hisses, her voice dropping to a harsh whisper, you got lucky. You have no real business experience. I look her directly in the eyes. I have 3 years of 17-hour days. What do you have? Dad steps between us, his insurance executive smile firmly in place. Family business should stay private, Lauren. This isn't the place. It stopped being private when you made it public criticism, I interrupt. The words feel foreign in my mouth. I've never interrupted my father before. When you told your golf partners I was having a breakdown. When Amanda told her friends not to encourage my tech fantasy. Mom gasps softly. Lauren, that's not fair. My phone buzzes with incoming messages. I glance down to see texts from Ethan, my business partner and CTO. CNN just ran the story, we're trending. Thompson says board approval was unanimous. Then another message appears, this one from Michael Thompson himself. Congratulations again, Lauren. The team is thrilled to have you heading the new division. Dinner next week to discuss details? I hold up my phone, showing the messages. My team is celebrating tonight. They've believed in our vision from day one. I swipe to a photo from our acquisition celebration 12, people raising champagne glasses in our cramped office, faces flushed with success and possibility. How much? Aunt Patricia asks suddenly, her eyes calculating. What was the acquisition amount? The family leans forward collectively, financial interest overriding their disbelief. $47 million, I say quietly. The number falls like a stone into still water. Ripples of shock spread across their faces as they do the mental calculations. More than Dad's insurance agency is worth. More than Uncle Robert's medical practice. More than Amanda will make in 20 years at her marketing firm. Dad recovers first, reaching for my shoulder. We always believed in you, honey. Your mother and I were just concerned about... Christmas, I say, stepping back from his touch. Last Christmas, when you forgot to send me an invitation because I was too stressed about my hobby. His hand falls away. The Riverside Business Alliance meeting, I continue, turning to Mom, when Dad introduced me as still finding herself to the Johnsons. Mom's perfect coral lipstick suddenly seems garish against her pale face. I look at Amanda. 6 months ago, when you suggested I try retail management because it had better prospects than playing with computers. Amanda's jaw tightens. She says nothing. I reach for my purse, suddenly exhausted by all of it, the pretense, the judgment, the years of subtle undermining disguised as concern. I need to take a call from my board of directors, I say, gathering my things. Lauren, wait. Dad reaches for my arm. We should discuss this as a family. Mom rises, panic flashing across her features. At least stay for dessert, dear. The chef made your favorite chocolate souffle. I pause at the edge of the table. I'm sorry, I really do need to take this call. As if on cue, my phone rings in my hand. The screen displays Horizon Tech CEO, Michael Thompson. Dad's eyes widen as he reads the caller ID upside down. I answer, putting it on speaker. Hi, Michael, thanks for calling. Lauren, congratulations on the acquisition. Thompson's voice fills the sudden silence. We need to discuss your new position as VP of Innovation. The board is excited about your vision for expanding the platform. I meet Dad's stunned gaze over the phone. I'll be right with you, I tell Thompson, then end the call. For a moment, no one speaks. The family tableau before me frozen in shock, mouths slightly open, eyes wide would be comical if it weren't so sad. Lauren, Dad finally manages, his voice strained. Wait, please? But I'm already walking away, my sensible flat silent on the plush carpet, my back straight, my heart pounding with a strange mixture of vindication and grief. Behind me, I hear the scrape of chairs, urgent whispers, Amanda's voice rising in protest. But for the first time in my life, I'm not turning back to smooth things over, to apologize for taking up space, for being different, for pursuing my own path. I step into the cool evening air, taking my first deep breath in hours. The stars above the country club shine with startling clarity, as if I'm seeing them for the first time. My phone buzzes again. Another message from Thompson. Board meeting tomorrow at 9. Big announcement coming. You ready for this? I smile and type back. More ready than you know. I step outside onto the country club's stone terrace, phone pressed to my ear. Thompson is calling me. The evening air cools my flushed cheeks as I hear Michael Thompson's voice calm, confident, authoritative. Lauren, we need to finalize your leadership team before tomorrow's press release. Do you have anyone specific in mind for the senior developer position? From the corner of my eye, I catch movement. Amanda hovers near the French doors, pretending to admire a potted plant while straining to hear my conversation. Behind her, Uncle Robert and my father lean against the bar, their faces locked in identical expressions of concentration. The terrace windows reflect my family's awkward tableau, a clumsy surveillance operation conducted in designer clothes. I'm thinking Alex Rodriguez would be perfect. I say, deliberately raising my voice. He's been with me since the beginning. Brilliant architect, completely redesigned the matching algorithm last quarter. I turn slightly, making sure my words carry through the cracked window. And for the UX team, I want Jenny Prescott. Stanford graduate, former Google, turned down Microsoft to join us when we couldn't even offer health insurance. The names of prestigious companies float through the evening air like perfectly aimed darts. Each one lands with precision in my family's carefully constructed narrative about my hobby. Through the glass, I watch Amanda pull out her phone. Her fingers fly across the screen, frantic Google searches, undoubtedly confirming everything I've just revealed. My father touches his breast pocket, retrieving his own phone while muttering something to Uncle Robert. Absolutely, Michael. The board meeting at 9 tomorrow works for me. I'll have my assistant coordinate with yours. I don't have an assistant yet, but they don't need to know that. When I return inside, the energy has shifted completely. Conversations halt mid-sentence. Champagne glasses freeze halfway to lips. My grandmother, seated regally at the head table, watches the unfolding drama with bright, curious eyes. Amanda rushes toward me, phone clutched in her manicured hand. Lauren, you're all over TechCrunch. Horizon Tech acquires Adams Tech in landmark AI recruitment deal. Why didn't you tell us? The desperation in her voice can't mask her real question. How did you succeed without my help? I tried to tell you. I say simply, for 3 years. My father appears at my elbow, his hand suddenly warm on my shoulder. the same shoulder he refused to pat when I graduated with honors in computer science. "Sweetheart, this is wonderful news. I always knew you had potential." His voice booms with the hollow enthusiasm he usually reserves for successful insurance clients. "Let me call Tom Berenson. He's on the board at Merrill Lynch. He'll want to hear about this directly from me." "Why would he need to hear it from you?" The question escapes before I can stop it. Dad blinks, genuinely confused. "Well, I'm your father." "And that makes you qualified to explain my AI architecture to a banking executive?" The silence that follows feels like stepping into an elevator shaft. Amanda taps frantically at her phone. I glimpse her Facebook app opening, fingers composing a status update. So proud of my little sister Lauren. Always knew her tech skills would pay off. Proud sister. Family support. Women in tech. 20 minutes ago, she was offering to help me find an entry-level position. Before I can respond, the country club door swings open. Javier Mendez strides in, his 6'4" frame commanding attention in a perfectly tailored charcoal suit. My business partner and CTO scans the room, spots me, and breaks into a wide grin. "There she is! The woman of the hour!" His voice carries across the dining room. "Sorry to interrupt family time, but we've got that TechCrunch interview in 30 minutes. They want details on the innovation division you'll be heading." Every head turns. My mother's champagne glass freezes halfway to her lips. Javier extends his hand to my father. "You must be Mr. Adams. Your daughter is brilliant. Our matching algorithm outperforms Google's by 28%. The venture capital world can't stop talking about her." My father shakes Javier's hand on autopilot, face struggling to realign itself between confusion and pride. Across the room, I notice Mr. Whitfield, a senior partner at my father's firm, approaching us with undisguised interest. "David, is this your daughter? The one with the tech company we've been reading about?" My father's professional smile flickers. "Yes, Lauren has done quite well with her startup." "Remarkable achievement," Mr. Whitfield says, turning to me. "My son keeps talking about wanting to leave his banking job for tech. Says traditional industries don't understand where the real value is anymore. Maybe you could speak with him? Give him some guidance?" The irony lands like a thunderclap. My father's colleague asking me for career advice. As I prepare to leave, my phone buzzes with a text from Michael Thompson. "All done. Big announcement coming." I smile, tucking the phone away without responding. My family has no idea what's really coming next. This acquisition is just the beginning. Amanda catches my arm at the door, her voice lowered to an urgent whisper. "Lauren, we should talk. Really talk. Just the two of us." For the first time in years, my sister looks at me like I'm someone worth knowing. I glance at her, then back at the family that never believed in me. "I'll call you," I say. "I've got your number." In more ways than one. I step into the crisp evening air, savoring the moment of solitude before the inevitable confrontation. The parking lot lights cast long shadows across the pavement as I hear the country club's heavy door swing open behind me. "Lauren, wait." My father's voice carries that familiar corporate command tone, the one that's closed million-dollar deals and silenced boardroom dissenters. I turn slowly, my hand still gripping my car keys. The entire Adams family procession approaches Dad leading the charge, Amanda flanking his right, Mom hovering anxiously behind them, with Aunt Patricia and Uncle Robert bringing up the rear guard. A family intervention in full formation. "We need to have a private conversation," Dad says, straightening his custom suit jacket. His silver hair catches the light, making him look like the distinguished insurance executive whose photo hangs in the company lobby. Away from prying eyes. "The thing about privacy," I respond, my voice steadier than I feel, "is that it works both ways." Amanda steps forward, her eyes red-rimmed but calculating. "Lauren, this isn't just about you. We're family. Whatever happens to one of us affects all of us." Funny how that philosophy only applies when I'm succeeding. Mom slides between them, her coral lipstick still perfect despite the tears welling in her eyes. "Your grandmother is heartbroken, Lauren. She couldn't even finish her dessert." Grandmother seemed fine when I spoke with her earlier. In fact, she asked for my business card. Dad clears his throat, shifting to his practice speech voice, the one he uses for company retreats and retirement parties. "Family supports family, Lauren. That's the Adams way." We pool our resources, our connections, our knowledge. We lift each other up. When exactly did you lift me up, Dad? Was it when you told your golf buddies I was having a midlife crisis at 29? Or when you called my landlord questioning my ability to pay rent? His face pales slightly. That's taken completely out of context. Amanda steps closer, her diamond bracelet catching the parking lot lights. You don't understand how hard this has been for us too, watching you struggle for years, refusing our help, isolating yourself. We were worried sick. Worried I might succeed without your permission? Lauren, Amanda's voice drops to a whisper. You're getting too big for your britches. Our friends are asking questions. People are confused about why you never mentioned this big success before. It makes us all look bad. There it is. I nod slowly. The real concern. Dad moves between us, his CEO presence filling the space. What your sister means is that family achievements should be celebrated together. We'd appreciate if you'd acknowledge our support in your interviews. A simple mention of your father's business guidance or Amanda's networking assistance would mean the world. The sheer audacity nearly makes me laugh. So that's what this parking lot ambush is about? You want credit? We want recognition for our role in your journey. Dad corrects, as if editing a contract. Your role? The words come out sharper than intended. Let me be perfectly clear about what Horizon Tech actually acquired. They didn't just buy my little hobby. They created an entire innovation division around my technology. I'm not just working there, I'm running it. Mom gasps softly. Amanda's mouth forms a perfect circle. Next month, I'll be on the cover of Forbes Technology Review. I continue, pulling out my phone to show them the email confirmation. Stanford Business School has invited me to speak about entrepreneurship next semester. And just for perspective, I now earn more in 1 month than Amanda makes in a year. Amanda's face flushes crimson. That's impossible. You're exaggerating. The numbers don't lie. Neither do I. I scroll through my phone to a folder labeled Family Records. Unlike some people. What is that? Dad asks, his confidence wavering. Documentation. For years, I wondered if I was imagining the ways you undermined me. So I started keeping records. I open a screenshot. Here's Amanda telling our college friends not to encourage Lauren's tech fantasy, and here's a family group text where you mock my business plan. I swipe to another image. This is interesting. Dad's voicemail to my landlord from last year. What was it you said? I'm concerned about my daughter's mental state and ability to fulfill her financial obligations. Their faces shift from defensive to horrified as I continue through the evidence, document by document, quote by quote. The systematic sabotage laid bare under parking lot fluorescents. Lauren, this is taken completely out of context. Dad stammers, reaching for the phone. I step back. Context is everything, Dad. And the context was always clear. You never believed in me. What do you want? Amanda finally asks, her voice barely audible. Money? Public apology? I look at my sister, the golden child. The perfect atom standing diminished in her cream-colored dress. For a moment, I see beyond her facade to something almost resembling fear. Actually, Amanda, we have an entry-level position opening in my division next month. Market Research Associate. I'd be happy to put in a word for you, help you get a real job. Her face collapses. You can't be serious. The irony is, I knew about your Horizon Tech application months ago. I made sure it went through the standard evaluation process, the AI system I designed. No special treatment, no manipulation. The system correctly identified what I've always known: you talk big but create nothing original. Aunt Patricia gasps. Uncle Robert pulls out his phone, pretending to check messages while clearly listening to every word. You did this on purpose, Amanda whispers. You engineered this entire humiliation. No, Amanda, you did this. All of you did. I just stopped protecting you from the consequences. I notice country club members lingering by the entrance, watching our family drama unfold. Dad's business colleagues whisper among themselves. The power shift is palpable, hanging in the air like the approaching summer storm. My phone rings, a Wall Street Journal reporter following up on an interview request. I turn away from my stunned family, answering with my professional voice. Lauren Adams speaking. Yes, I can confirm the acquisition details for your article. I slide into my Honda, the same practical car they once mocked, and start the engine. Through the rearview mirror, I watch them standing frozen in the parking lot, their silhouettes growing smaller as I drive toward a future they can no longer control. 6 months later, my corner office window frames Chicago's skyline like an award I've earned. 6 months at Horizon Tech's Innovation Campus, and I still catch myself pausing at the door, half expecting someone to tell me I've wandered into the wrong room. The morning light catches the single-framed photo on my desk, not the obligatory family portrait most executives display, but my original team on launch day. 4 of us with bloodshot eyes and wild grins, champagne in paper cups because we couldn't afford real glasses. Worth more than any family reunion snapshot. Lauren, they're waiting in the Aspen room. My assistant Jared stands at the door, tablet in hand. No matter how many times I tell him to just text me, he insists on these personal reminders. I suspect he likes checking that I haven't disappeared into coding mode and forgotten the outside world exists. Fortune 500 folks don't like waiting, he adds with a smile. I straighten my tailored blazer charcoal gray, not a hint of navy blue, and gather my notes. The contrast between today's presentation and last year's family dinner strikes me with such force I almost laugh. Same Lauren, different universe. The Aspen room falls silent when I enter. 12 executives, 11 men, 1 woman turn with the expectant faces of people used to hearing what matters. Good morning. I begin, my voice steady where it once would have wavered. Let's talk about how your recruitment practices are costing you millions in overlooked talent. For 90 minutes, they listen. No interruptions, no dismissive glances, no one suggesting my little computer hobby might be a phase. When I finish, 3 CEOs want private meetings, and the lone female executive asks if I'll mentor her daughter who's studying computer science. Back in my office, I find a cream-colored envelope on my desk. The Riverside Country Club letterhead sends a jolt through my system, another Addams family reunion invitation. Do you want me to RSVP? Jared asks from the doorway. I turn the envelope over in my hands. 6 months ago, this paper stock would have triggered a stress headache and hours of wardrobe anxiety. Now it's just paper. What's your gut telling you? Jared persists. My therapist asked the same question yesterday during our session about family boundaries. 4 months of weekly conversations about success, guilt, and conditional love have given me a vocabulary for what happened in that dining room last November. My gut says I've healed enough to attend without losing myself. I answer finally. But not enough to pretend nothing happened. Jared nods. I'll confirm. Your Tesla will be ready at 7. The company care, another surreal detail in my transformed life. Along with genuine friendships with colleagues who valued my ideas from day one. And my role as best woman at my business partner's wedding last month, where we toasted chosen family with real champagne in real glasses. Last week, at the Women in Tech conference, a young developer approached me after my panel. My family calls my startup a hobby, she confessed, voice breaking. They want me to get a real job in banking. I gave her my private email. Then I called my lawyer and established a scholarship fund for first-generation entrepreneurs facing family skepticism. Because sometimes success isn't about proving your family wrong. It's about proving yourself right and helping others do the same.